Reality cooking show producer Kelly suggests hiring Chef Steven as their host. She soon regrets her own choice because of his complicated demands. As they work more, those feelings change. Kelly asks Becca why she wants to be on Little Gourmet, a reality cooking show for kids. Becca shakes her head and seems nervous in front of the camera. Kelly eases her in and notices she has been studying about chefs. Becca owns a copy of Chef Stephen Harris's book, Rustic Plates, Farm to Table. Becca is finally excited to talk about Stephen since she thinks he is the best chef. He has 2 Michelin stars, and her parents took her to his restaurant for her birthday. She laughs about her dad having a dish he couldn't pronounce. We can't either. She had the mushroom risotto, which she feels is the best. Kelly's boss Amanda wonders if Becca is good enough for the show. She is clearly camera shy, but Kelly thinks a great chef like her deserves a chance. Amanda reminds Kelly she can't please everyone and needs to make tough choices. She still agrees to put Becca in their group and hopes they give their best season yet. Kelly is excited about meeting her team the next morning and is looking forward to spending time with the little chefs. It's time to bring Chef Betty to the set, but she has injured her back. Betty wants to power through, but Kelly insists she needs to get it checked. Betty gets a slip disc and is expected to stay off her feet for a few weeks. Amanda reminds Kelly they were supposed to start filming 90 minutes ago. The network has offered Amanda an executive role, where she will develop new shows. This is her last season, and she needs to pass the torch for Little Gourmet to someone. John Simpson from the network usually makes this decision. This is why she wants Kelly to make an extra effort to show how invaluable she is. They urgently need to find a replacement for Betty and approach John with the problem. Amanda assures him they're thinking of something. He introduces them to Jeremy, who is apparently a rising star on the network. He was able to help improve the ratings of a show that was doing badly. When John heard about the Betty situation, he wanted Jeremy to step in. Jeremy claims to be a huge fan of Amanda and Kelly. He knows Amanda as the creator of Little Gourmet, and Kelly as their oldest producer on the show. Jeremy insists he is only there to help them get through the rough patch. He wants Chef Patty Hogan to host the show since she's very sweet and popular. Kelly feels threatened by Jeremy, so she randomly suggests getting Stephen Harris as their host. She knows he has successful cookbooks, and his restaurant is popular. Jeremy shows them a video of Stephen being rude to a critic and throwing dinner on his shirt. This was filmed last week and had 500,000 views in a day. Since Stephen is dubbed as the hot-headed Harris, Jeremy feels it's a terrible idea. Little Gourmet has always had good ratings, but John wants better social media engagement this time. He thinks having Stephen as their host could get people talking fast. He compliments Kelly for the amazing idea. Only time will tell how amazing it is. Stephen's agent, Adam, knows that doing this children's show will help rehab Stephen's image. Stephen makes excuses about his book tour, but it has been canceled. Everyone has seen Stephen using the food critic as a garbage can. Even the publisher is spooked, and no one is answering Adam's calls. Adam can also tell by the empty diner that his business is not doing well. Adam needs Stephen to show the world he's a good guy for a few weeks, so they can have a future. The little chefs are disappointed about Betty but equally excited about Stephen filling in as the host. When she thinks everything is on track, Kelly is called to deal with another problem. Kelly tries to be polite to Stephen, but he refuses to wear the chef's hat. He thinks it makes him look like a clown. No arguments there. Kelly assures him the toque is very popular, but Stephen thinks of this as a temporary job. He doesn't want to sabotage his career by making a fool of himself on national television. Surely the hat is not his biggest problem. Kelly assures him they can make something work and pushes the toque into his hands. Kelly assures Amanda everything is under control, but Stephen comes out without the hat again. Kelly reminds Stephen about it, but he has already made a deal with Jeremy to not wear it. Stephen also thinks they have the wrong pans, even if they have been using them every season. He knows stainless steel pans don't conduct heat evenly, so he wants to cook with copper. He is adamant and thinks they can't hire an elite chef like him with substandard pans. Kelly promises to look into it, but he has some other thoughts. What a surprise. Amanda and Kelly watch him being frustrated on screen because they're making sloppy joes. Amanda feels only the parts without him on camera are usable for the show. Kelly thinks it's her fault for suggesting him, but Amanda asks her to rise to the occasion. She asks Kelly to give Stephen extra attention and run the promo script with him. Kelly is supposed to do introduction segments, but Jeremy is handling that now. Amanda thinks John wants Jeremy to shoulder more of the production. They will produce half the segments, even if Kelly used to produce all earlier. Amanda knows John is trying to see how Jeremy handles the responsibility. Amanda agrees that Jeremy seems to be a good fit. Something is burning, and it's not the little chef's dishes. Amanda still thinks the decision to take over the show depends on how things pan out towards the end. Kelly has always assumed she would be the next in line to take over after Amanda. She feels Steven is ruining things, and it's because she recommended him. Jessica reminds Kelly that her success is linked to him, so she just needs to make sure he succeeds. She also wants Kelly to try speed dating next week. Kelly hasn't dated in months and doesn't have time for anything other than work. Jessica still asks her to give it a try. Kelly gives Steven the script for voiceovers, but doesn't want to give him the pen. She knows he will make unnecessary changes, even if the script was approved days ago. Steven knows he can ask Jeremy to make the changes, but Kelly is happy he is not around. He agrees to read out her script as it is, if she lets him have control over the menu. Kelly can't do that, since their menus have been crafted based on what kids like. Steven doesn't budge, so she agrees to work on the menu with him. She still wants veto power and reminds him he can't make any last-minute changes to the script. He takes her to the farmer's market so they can create a menu based on the ingredients. He explains that he builds his dishes on the best locally grown produce. He suggests a dish she can't pronounce, but he feels they can still use radicchio. Kelly feels that's inappropriate for a kids' show. But Steven insists their menu has always been pedestrian. He doesn't want to host a show where kids make mac and cheese and hamburgers. What a crime. Kelly feels those dishes are relatable, but Steven wants the kids to relate to sophisticated food if they want to be chefs. Kelly shows him a picture of Tommy Watterson, the first winner of Little Gourmet. He went in as an underdog, and the audience rooted for the child and not what he makes. She tries to make Steven understand that connecting with the kids is important for this show to work. In their next segment, Steven brings radicchio as the secret ingredient the kids have to work with. Kelly wanted carrots, but Jeremy had already cleared this with Amanda without informing her. Steven comes over to ask Becca about her souffle and thinks it can be challenging. He clearly doesn't approve of her methods and tries to show her how to do it. Kelly interrupts the shoot when Steven takes over from Becca. She reminds him the kids need to figure this out on their own. She asks him to let them make their mistakes and grow from them. She also asks him to smile more and put on the hat. Steven puts on a disturbing smile for the show. Thankfully, Jeremy asks him to lose it. Steven apologizes to Kelly for making some decisions against what she wanted with Jeremy. He just refuses to lower his standards. She pretends to understand it's not personal. But she also releases a poster with a photoshopped hat on Steven's head. Revenge seems petty and sweet. Jessica and Kelly discuss their reaction to the first aired episode. Everyone thinks Steven is very uptight. Kelly finds Cody sitting alone and asks about the recipe he's writing. Kelly doesn't want him to feel left out and encourages him to join the other kids. She remembers the time her mom packed extra cookies so she could be friends with more people. Kelly feels Cody is very brave for following his dreams of becoming a chef. She thinks if he has taken the risk to join the show, he should also try to make friends. Steven watches as Cody gets enough confidence to mingle with the other kids. Steven's pantry is missing a lot of items, and he borrows her notebook to write them down. He finds her notes on some ideas about food bank tie-ups and hometown theme episodes. He thinks Kelly should share these ideas with Amanda. Kelly knows Amanda likes things a certain way, and it's her job to make it happen. She admits she's afraid of rejection if she shares her ideas with Amanda. Steven feels she's being too shy for someone who gave Cody that great speech. Kelly rants to Jessica about how frustrating Steven is and keeps going rogue. She even hates that he has teamed up with Jeremy, and they are both against her. Jessica still feels Steven has a point about Kelly's ideas. She thinks Kelly should use Amanda's last season as an excuse to express her ideas. She thinks Amanda also might want to make an impact before leaving the show. Kelly briefs Amanda about what they have planned for Valentine's Day. They're about to end the meeting, but Kelly insists she has another idea. She wants to do something special, to highlight the contestants' families. They're already filming a section to know them, but Kelly wants to do something on location. She knows that Cody's dad is a firefighter, so they could have a chili cook-off in the firehouse. She feels they can even use Becca's mom's bakery. They just have 3 episodes left, and Jeremy thinks it's unnecessary to take the whole crew somewhere else. Amanda likes her idea and asks Kelly to give her a logistical breakdown. Kelly thanks Cody's dad for letting them set up at his workplace. He is more than happy and introduces her to Rick. He cooks dinner for 14 men and claims he's very adventurous. Rick claims that men usually eat meat and potatoes, but he likes to experiment. He prefers making a French dish, which is basically shepherd's pie. Steven rudely corrects his pronunciation. He ignores Steven and takes Kelly to show her the equipment. Steven feels Cody will get an unfair advantage if the firefighters decide who wins. Kelly reminds him it's a blind taste test, so there's no way to know. She knows he has a problem with him, but Kelly thinks Rick is amazing. She also scolds Steven for correcting Rick's pronunciation. She feels it's important to be kind, rather than right sometimes. Emily points out that Cody is missing. They all search for him. Kelly and Steven find Cody sitting outside, and he refuses to be a part of the show. Kelly assures him she doesn't want to pressure him. He admits that he's scared of letting his dad and his friends down with his cooking. Steven remembers the first time he cooked for his father. He was Cody's age and burnt the turkey for Thanksgiving dinner. He was embarrassed, but his father thought it was the best turkey he ever had. He appreciated Steven's efforts and even poured some extra gravy on it. Steven wants Cody to know some things can't be controlled, but he still thinks they should give it their best. Cody gets inspired by this story and joins the other chefs. When the kids have all made chili, Steven announces that Cody is the winner. Kelly is finally satisfied with the episode, and Steven also seems to be cooperating. Steven wants Becca's mom's bakery staff to model the desserts, but Jeremy has already sent them home. Steven reminds him what Kelly did with the firefighters, but Jeremy wants to do things differently. They have an issue with the oven, which Becca's mom usually fixes. She is not in the bakery that day, and Jeremy starts freaking out. Steven suggests calling Kelly for help, but Jeremy is sure he can handle it. Let's hope he does. Steven rants to Kelly about how many hours it took for Jeremy to fix the stove issues. He wants her to produce every segment, but she needs time to sleep too. Kelly gets a pizza delivered, but Steven throws it away. He brings her to the kitchen and wants to make her dinner with her. Kelly doesn't know how to cook, but Steven still hands her an apron. He wants to make her a fresh pizza and asks her to mix the dough. Steven's father was an army man, so he has lived all over the world. He was always making new friends and a routine, but he had to start all over again in another place. His mother decided to start a new tradition in every new place to get him engaged. They went to the nearest market and tried the local food. One of them always made Steven feel at home, and he realized the power of food in connecting people. He asks her to try the sauce, and she jokes about him dumping it in her lap. Steven knows the video topic had to come up one day. He explains that the world doesn't know what happened just 5 minutes before the video. The food critic made his waitresses cry, but only his actions were recorded. The video went viral before he knew it, and he didn't want to explain it to anyone. Kelly starts to think he's not so bad. Jeremy finds him wiping flour from her cheek and them staring at each other. Kelly claims there was nothing to interrupt, but Jeremy clearly doesn't feel good about this. Kelly claims she has been working on a new recipe with Steven. When she heads to the meeting with Amanda, Mikey comes to ask for her. He wants to give Kelly's notebook back, but Jeremy offers to give it to her. Surely, it will find its way back to her. Steven is friendlier with the kids in the latest segment and enjoys their company. Amanda knows he is winning over the audience too, because the fan mail included marriage proposals. She feels Kelly has somehow managed to tame the beast and applauds her for it. Kelly shows Steven that he is being called Chef Charming now. She also feels his smile is more genuine. He asks for her plans for Valentine's Day the next night. They both claim they don't have dates. But Kelly has been assuming Steven will be busy at his restaurant. Steven is working that night, but asks Kelly to stop by his restaurant for a bit. The little chefs make something in the kitchen to thank Steven on Valentine's Day. They feel he can share it with his date. Kelly can't find her notebook but feels it might be on set. It sure is. Jessica invites her for a girls' night on Valentine's Day, but Kelly claims she has a work thing with Steven. Kelly is sure it's not a date, but Jessica still wants something good for her to wear. She refuses to let Kelly go to an upscale restaurant in jeans and is excited about doing her makeup. Kelly gives her name at the reception and is recognized as Steven's date. A table has been reserved for her, and Steven has chosen what she will eat. She asks the woman to be nice with her menu, and she's not joking about it. Steven joins her later and knows his staff can handle the orders. He wants to celebrate their successful partnership with wine. He asks how she got into production, since she's great with the kids. Kelly's mother was a social worker and who worked late and loved her job. When she passed away 4 years ago, Kelly started getting a lot of letters from people her mom helped. Her mother saved so many lives that she wants to continue the legacy. Steven is sure her mom would be proud, but Kelly wants to do more for the kids. She thinks it's not enough to send them out into the world after a season. She wants to help them get to the finish line by offering additional help. He knows she has surely made an impression. A florist mistakes them for a couple. I mean, if that can be called a mistake. Steven helps her feel less awkward by getting flowers that signify friendship and admiration for her. Kelly remembers her previous Valentine's Day plans, which included takeout and notes from work. She loves the holiday based on love and chocolate, but never has time for a relationship. She always finds it hard to balance it with work. She believes that love finds you when you're ready for it. Steven probably believes that in the moment too. Steven knows they got off on the wrong foot, but is glad he agreed to do the date. I mean the show. Jeremy has suggested that the finale should be live, and the network has approved it. He thinks it will have a lot of drama, with people thinking what can go wrong. Kelly doesn't want things to go wrong, but Amanda feels it will surely help end the show on a high note. Jeremy offers to scout locations with Amanda too, but all the buttering seems to be falling dry. Kelly feels they should use the farm-to-table theme, which Jeremy hates since Amanda likes her idea. Steven finds Becca and her mom, Mrs. Dawes, looking for ingredients. Becca wants to try out a recipe for her dad's birthday. He asks about her chosen side dish and recommends something more appropriate. He even offers to help her find the ingredients in the market for her menu. He teaches her to always grab 2 of her star ingredients. He wants her to know she might need extra at any point. He also gifts her some truffle oil and asks her to use it wisely. When Becca checks his recipe book for the ingredients, she finally finds it signed by him. She smiles at what he has written about hoping that she signs her book for him one day. Kelly gets inspired to make spaghetti and meatballs at home. She sends a picture to Steven, who doesn't believe she made it herself. He is glad she learned a home-cooked meal is always better. She's even making cookies, and offers to share with him if he's nice. He gets another call from Adam, who asks if he wants to hear the good or bad news first. Kelly is excited to share her cookies with Steven but finds Betty back in his room. She claims to be healed and loves the cookies Kelly brought. Amanda is glad Betty is back for the finale. She reminds Kelly that Steven was always a replacement. Amanda had offered him a chance to finish the season, but he stepped aside to let Betty take over. Amanda feels they should be proud of how well they tackled a tricky situation. She didn't want to bother Kelly with this, since she has a lot on her plate. Kelly has been doing this for a long time, and asks Amanda for a chance to prove that she can handle big things. Kelly goes to meet Steven at his restaurant. He thinks Betty will be great, even if she doesn't have his attention to detail. He's glad people stopped talking about the video, and his restaurant is doing very well. She invites him to the finale the next day, but Steven has to catch a plane to Los Angeles. He has been offered his own show, and Adam thinks it'll be a great tie-up with his cookbook. Kelly is happy for him, but he thinks everything happened because of her. Mikey has been texting Kelly, but her phone was on silent. He sends her to Amanda's room, where Jeremy is presenting something. John and Amanda are very excited about Jeremy's ideas for next season. He has suggested a tie-up with a food bank and a scholarship fund. This seems awfully familiar. Everyone thinks Jeremy has potential, while Kelly is left speechless. She looks for her notebook and confronts Jeremy. She claims he stole all her ideas, but Jeremy pretends he doesn't know what she's talking about. While he keeps denying stealing her vision, Mikey overhears them. Steven comes to drop off some good luck letters for Cody and Becca before the finale. Amanda admits she had her doubts about him, but is glad Kelly suggested him. She informs him that taking him on was her idea, and she always stuck her neck out for him. He learns that Kelly is already preparing for the finale at a farm upstate. Kelly gets an email from Tommy Watterson, who won the first season of Little Gourmet. He thanks Kelly for her help in getting him into the International Culinary Institute's summer program. Adam hands over the contract for the LA show to Steven, and claims the producers want to start filming right away. Steven was hoping to meet the producers first, but Adam reminded him it was a great opportunity. Jessica is sure Kelly will give the best finale possible. Kelly seems upset because it doesn't seem right without Steven. Jessica thinks Kelly should tell him how she feels if she wants him to stick around. Kelly seems unsure of her feelings, but Jessica knows she's only afraid of the answer. Kelly thinks Steven is kind and amazing, but she knows he's leaving, so there's nothing she can do. Betty is nicely pulling off the hat Steven refused to wear. Sorry, I mean toque. Steven comes to meet Kelly before the finale to hand over a contract between the show and his restaurant. He wants every contestant who takes part in Little Gourmet to become an apprentice under him after culinary school. He knows it's a way for them to cross the finish line. Isn't he just perfect? Kelly wants to thank him, but they're about to go live in a bit. He asks why she never told him she suggested his name. She claims he was always too busy trying to quit over a toque. She also knows this show is about empowering kids, and she is glad she was right about him inspiring them. Betty begins the live show with the final contestants, Becca and Cody. They're supposed to use the fresh produce from the field, and she's excited for them. She knocks off some vegetables and jokes about anything happening on live television. She can't get back up when she bends down. Kelly instantly prompts her to suggest they take a look at the season till now. Betty apologizes for the reflex, and Kelly explains they're off live feed. Amanda can give her 1.5 minutes to run the contestant interviews. Kelly wants to bring Steven as the replacement, but Jeremy urges Betty to power through. Kelly knows they can't force her to do that, but Jeremy taunts her about going off script. Kelly asks Amanda to trust her, and she allows her to run after Steven. Kelly finally tells Steven that she needs him. Adam feels her issue can wait since they have a plane to catch. She informs Steven about Betty's injury and that she really needs him on the show. Steven agrees to do it and takes over. Cody faces an issue halfway through filming the episode. He forgot to get chocolate for his dessert from the pantry. He can't go back, since they're only allowed to get all the supplies once. Steven also can't bend the rules for him. Becca offers Cody her second bag of chocolate. She has followed what Steven taught her and grabbed an extra just in case. They get back to work, and it's time for Steven to announce the results. When Becca wins, Cody is equally happy for her. They congratulate each other for the best finale ever. John has heard all of this happened thanks to Kelly. Amanda points out that Kelly's quick thinking has taken them out of many tough spots. John has been looking for Jeremy because he found Kelly's book with the same ideas he presented. Jeremy nervously claims he was trying to champion her ideas, but John knows he made a mistake by pushing him for this role. He takes him out to talk while Amanda explains that Mike found her diary in Jeremy's office. She is glad he did, because Kelly will need it when she replaces her next season. Amanda is excited that she's leaving the show in the hands of someone who's willing to speak up and take control. Kelly shares the news about her promotion with Steven, but he always knows she deserves it. She remembers his flight, which already left 20 minutes ago. Steven has turned down the offer since his heart wasn't in it. He brings out a red rose this time, and she already knows what it means. Steven feels he could have left New York, but not her. They kiss, and she jokes about needing a guy to help her with the menu next season.